What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just want to give you a quick heads up. DA stickers, yes, they're still available. I miscounted. I guess I had a lot more than I anticipated. So I think I have about 17 left. You guys have actually been buying a couple at a time, which I think is really awesome. Still got plenty of Miata stickers though, but yeah, pick up a DA sticker while you can. 17 left. Again, $5, I think. And then, yeah, so today what I got going on is kind of two things, mostly one thing. So Ammon is hopefully on his way over to the house right now. If you guys, actually I don't even know if I filmed it, but his Civic, his turbo Vitara built D16, all that, it is running. Like, it's been running for probably 3 months now. He just hasn't been able to do anything with it because he works a lot. The dude's got a family, you know, just life comes at you. So I went out to his house last weekend. We got him a downpipe started, and I didn't have my saws, I didn't have my tools. You know, you can't really do all that the way you need to without the right equipment. So I made him kind of a half-assed downpipe, and it works, but it's pointing right at the ground. It's not what he wants. Like, if it was any other like open dump tube Honda kid, it'd be fine, but he wants it to attach to his full 3-inch exhaust. So he's attempting to get the car up here right now. He lives about 50-ish minutes away from me, so it's quite the journey for its first drive. It is running a base map right now. He did unhook the intercooler setup, so he's not building any boost, and we have to modify his wastegate actuator like I did mine on the Del Sol, or the Miata, before you can build boost as is. But yeah, basically he's trying to come up here. We're trying to get his downpipe finished up, even though it's going to be like 145,000 degrees today. Minimum 111 actually. But I also am working on a harness bar for a Del Sol for a customer. So I don't think I filmed it in the last video. I did the first roof brace, but this is the second rendition, so forgive the lighting, but you see how it's the 2 bars. It's actually really strong. I've had this in here for a couple days now, just to test it, and it's definitely strong. It really helps the car feel a whole lot better. So that one is already sold. That is the second design that I will be making, though I'm making another one tonight actually for a customer. This is for the same guy that's getting that. This is the harness bar, quote unquote. So it mounts up to the factory seat belt posts right there and right there. I TIG welded it 3/4 away. I had to MIG weld just a little bit because I don't have one of those fancy like ferrite glass lenses or whatever, so I could not stick my tungsten out far enough to get over there. But yeah, this tube on its own is not safe for a harness bar. I mean, technically speaking, harness bars in general aren't safe. I run one in that just because, like I said, I had to take the roll bar out to give it back to Brian at Hassport. But as for roll bars in general, or harness bars in general, people will argue safe, unsafe, death trap, mouse trap, whatever you want to say. Some people want them, some people don't. Like, that's totally up to you, and this guy has decided that he wants one. So yeah, this one sits too high because of the lack of me having a tubing bender, so I couldn't like mount it and bring it down like that and then bring it back up over there. So what the guy has suggested, which I thought of in the first place, but I didn't want to do it without his approval, and so when he brought the idea up, I was like, you know what, let's just do that. But I marked it out right here, these 2 yellow paint lines, and pretty much I'm going to just take 4-inch pieces of tube, I'm going to notch them, bring it down 4 inches on, you know, both spots, and then just run a tube going straight across. That way he can mount his harness to that. This will be the support bar, and then the harness mounting point will just be that second bar. So it'll be pretty darn easy. I'm gonna just go cut up the tube and get it all tacked up real quick. But yeah, don't yell at me. I'm just doing what he asked. Got those all welded up. Now we just got to do the centerpiece that just attaches it across. There we go, all finished up. I'm loving these settings that I got on the MIG welder right now for this material. It's coming out super nice. Haven't got the chance to play with my MIG at least this well, like doing good welds like this, in a long time, because normally I just do exhaust, and if you guys don't weld, then just doing like exhaust butt joints and stuff like that, it's really hard to make it look nice because it's thin metal, so you have to run it a bit colder, otherwise it's really easy to burn through. It's susceptible to like heat stoke, so it makes it even easier to blow through, and I don't know, it's just difficult, whereas this stuff just welds super nice, especially since I switched to acetone per a lot of you guys recommending acetone over the isopropyl alcohol. Acetone does a really good job. But yeah, this thing is all done now. I'm gonna let it cool off, go take some pictures and send them to the guy, and hopefully he's stoked. Depending on what type of seat this guy is running in his car, the amount that I dropped it down was where the bottom pipe is sitting, probably about 3.5 inches. So it should put his, again, depending on the seat, it should put the shoulder belt either directly level with the shoulder or maybe just a hair below. But I know it's supposed to be like a 45 below the shoulder, but he's also doing a custom subwoofer setup, I think he said, so he was concerned about room. So this is kind of like the agreed upon dimension was like 4 inches down. But Ammon's on his way. Sounds like the car is doing okay, running a little warm. I think he's in the low 200s, but I think it's a little okay, or that should be okay. But yeah, he should be here shortly, so I'm gonna go inside and enjoy some AC because it's like 112 out here. And we'll see him when he gets here. Sounds like he's here. Looks like you made it just fine.
Yeah, you know, I guess building the engine over a bunch of dirt.
Get out of here. Right? So Eamon dropped his car off because it is so damn hot. He just dropped the car off. He's not hanging around. So that gives me more opportunity to do a better job at it since I'm not trying to rush through it today with him hanging out, trying to get him out of here. So he's gonna give me a couple of days and he'll come grab the car started next week, which is perfect. But in the meantime, my ECU finally showed up in the mail for this thing. If you guys don't remember, I sent it out about a month ago to get serviced because after doing some freaking troubleshooting and everything, it appears that the idler diode or idler circuit on it may have died. So they weren't really able to test it for me. They got too busy because there's only 2 guys that run this company. So they just sent me the same case back with a new board and everything in it. So all I have to do is load up my my tune file, wherever it is, Tuner Studio, plug this in, load up my tune file, and then should be able to fire the car up. The car has been sitting, like I said, for about a month, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the injector clips, and we're just gonna crank it. Once we get this thing loaded, we'll crank it for a few seconds, get some oil pressure built up, and see if it fires up and see how it idles. It may idle a bit erratic because I may have to adjust my fuel trim a little bit because I don't know if I ever saved that, and because my idler control valve is not like totally calibrated, because the issue before was it was doing nothing. So now it probably needs to be calibrated, but that'll have to come with the tune unless I can figure it out. So let's grab this thing. Sorry for the lighting. Get this plugged in. Let's plug in the vacuum line first. That map sensor. Wiggle that on there. Then plug this one on. Okay. Let's load up our, plug in our computer tab, whatever. We'll see how this goes. As of right now, I'm a little confused just because I had to reload my map, and then because it's a new board, I had to like set it up like a new computer. So I'm gonna let it idle for a few minutes and try and mess with the idle valve a little bit, but I think we should be okay, but I don't know. So still having issues with this stinking Miata. Kind of narrowing it down a little bit. Talking back and forth with Isaac and Speedy, we're still working through it out. But good news is that it appears the ECU must be doing something with the idler control valve, because before, when I would disconnect it, it wouldn't do anything. Now when I disconnect it, the idle actually increases. So we're still having idle issues. He's trying to help me sort that out, but yeah, very difficult. But I don't know if I mentioned it, but I went to meet up with Tyson Hughie. You guys may know him. He has a YouTube channel. He's a really cool Acura collector. He has a GSR DA, he has an NSX, a Legends, Vigor, blah, 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 blah. But I went and met up with him for lunch yesterday, actually, and the stupid, I don't even know, honestly. I'm going to say the slave cylinder went out on this thing, or something happened. The fluid was super nasty and probably needed to be changed, so I think it overheated or did something. But I lost my clutch pedal pressure, so I had to like limp it home after lunch with him. Had to like clutchless shift, so I went to go bleed the clutch, and then the bleeder screw stripped, so I just went and warrantied that out for this O'Reilly's one, because that's what the other one was. Had it on there for about 2 years. So I'm gonna try and get this put on really quick, and then have my girlfriend help me bleed it. But speaking of girlfriend, you gotta see what she made me. So she is pretty crafty, and she made her own shift boot. So I kind of was jokingly saying I want a dinosaur one. So she went to Walmart this morning. She got some dinosaur fabric, and now the Del Sol has a dinosaur shift boot. So that's pretty sweet. She's actually making me a floral, is that what it's called? When it's all flowery and stuff. She's making me a floral one to match my instrument cluster here on the Miata. But I would make one for the Integra here, but it does not accept a shift boot. And obviously the K-Tune shifter is huge. So yeah, let me bolt this up. It's still way too hot to even be out here. I don't want to be out here, but I need to do some stuff. Need to get these cars going. Ammon's car, I'm gonna try and pull in a little bit later tonight, get that downpipe off, get started on it. I got another roof brace to make too, but this thing needs to be getting on the road because I can't be driving the Del Sol 24/7, especially with the turbo, you know, this heat soak and all that crap, so I need to be able to drive the Integra. I got the new one installed, pretty easy. Had to take my intake off, which is a little bit of a pain because of this stupid box I made, but new one's in, so now I'm gonna put this back on and then try and get this bled. So I've been trying to bleed this clutch for a hot 2.5 hours now. Still no luck. Master cylinder is not leaking at all. The slave cylinder is obviously brand new. So I don't know what the issue is. It's still just got like infinite air. It looked like it was sucking in air from the hose up there because the hose has a slight crack on the inside part of the hose, so I double clamped it, and I can't tell, but it doesn't really seem like it's taking in any air. But I don't know, every single time I've ever had to bleed this, the clutch on this car, it's always taken me for absolutely ever, and I never ever seem to remember how to do it. So I'm using the vacuum bleeder right now. I don't know, it's just not really getting me anywhere, so I'm gonna have to call it a night though, because everybody is closed and I'm out of brake fluid. So I had to come back out here the next day. We got some weird, I think California's got another fire going on, so it's, I was reading that it's affecting us because it's kind of like cloudy without being cloudy today. So I got a little bit of a break from the heat, still hot as balls out here, about 108. But I'm gonna try and get Ammon's car jacked up really quick and get this stinking downpipe off. Let me show you his engine bay though. It came out pretty clean, but before I do that, I wanna give a humongous shout out to Tommy. You guys probably don't know him yet. He's new on the YouTube scene. He goes by Superior Custom Garage. He actually hit me up. He was out here actually in Vegas picking up a drift car, and he messaged me. He was trying to meet up with me and Bravis, aka Debbie Garage. He didn't have the chance, so he had his kids with him. He was barely able to meet up with Bravis, but he actually donated like a crazy amount to the channel, and I am beyond grateful for him. But if you guys want to go give him a follow, a like, or anything on his channel, I will have it here on the screen, and I will have his link in the description below. But I figured that's the least I could do for him, helping me out like that. And hopefully when he comes back out here, because he said he plans on coming out here pretty soon, we can meet up with him. We can take him out in the cars. Hopefully they're all running by then. But yeah, just want to give him a shout out. So let me get this downpipe popped off and get to work. So this is what we're looking at in here. Ammon did a pretty darn good job of getting this engine bay put together. So it's been a long time coming. So really the only complaint that I have is the hose for the compressor inlet here. I don't know, it's just, you know, Honda turbo things. There's not really a good manifold, because if I had it ideal, then this turbo would be scooted over like I don't know, 3 inches this way. That way he'd have more compressor clearance, but he's got cruise control. He has power steering, he has air conditioning, all of it works. Everything looks good in here. Pretty much every gasket, bolt, washer, O-ring, anything you can think of in this thing is almost all completely brand new OEM, or as close to OEM as he can get. So a few little things to clean up, like he could clean up the wiring a little bit, but overall it is a really not bad job. But this is what I was able to make up for him last week. Downpipe down there, you can kind of see it, pretty out of the ordinary. A lot of you guys wouldn't mind running something like that, but you know, this is going to be his daily driver. He does not want anything super loud, and it is definitely very loud right now. So the only issue is that he chose 3-inch. Why he chose 3-inch with a D series that isn't going to be making high power, I have no idea. But because of that, it's going to be really tight for me. So because I see a line going down, oh, that's the OT line, so that can be moved actually. But yeah, I have to try and curve this down between the slave cylinder and the fan down there. And I'm going to have to make some pie cuts and trying to get it to go under the car back to the exhaust that is on the car. It is a full 3-inch on this car. So we got some trickiness to try and do, but it's just going to be a lot of pie cuts. We'll try and get it done though. I got the saw, got the bandsaw, whatever, so we have the material. It's been in the trunk of the Del Sol for months now, so let's pop this off. So this is what we're looking like underneath the car. Looking at it, I needed to come down here and go back to the exhaust there. So tight fit, we can make it work, but I'm thinking I'm gonna, instead of remaking the whole downpipe, I'm gonna try and cut it at this top weld up here where I welded before. I'm gonna try and spin that pretty much 180 to point this over here, and then I can just chop this where I need it and make a few pie cuts to bring it back. Definitely won't be like 10 out of 10 pretty, but I mean, that's expensive stuff, you know? So we're gonna make it work regardless, and we'll get him a full exhaust. Alright, kind of hard to see from up top. Let me show you from below that I angled it this way now. I got it tacked up in place, so I marked it to cut here, and then from here I should be able to use a few pieces of pie and bring it straight back here. Shouldn't be that hard. I just gotta go cut the pie. So we got a handful of pie cuts, a few different sizes, but this should hopefully be enough to get this going. One thing I really like about these is how many ways you can use them, but one thing I really hate about them is actually preparing them, because it takes forever. My saw blade was actually pretty dull, so it didn't help the cutting process, but then you have to go through, deburr it with a flap disc, clean the edges, but the result's usually pretty rewarding, but it's just such a pain to do. This is what I'm working with so far. Yeah, sits like, yeah, well, sit like that, and then comes down, you know, bends down. This goes directly under the oil pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this up, and then I may be able to just attach the flex pipe, and then just a little section off of that to the flange to meet up with the rest of the exhaust. So this is actually going a little bit better than I thought it would. It's a little bit easier than I was expecting, so that's good. Well, this section's all welded up now. That was about 67 inches of weld, I think. For anybody wondering why I'm not TIG welding this or anything, I'm not TIGging it because it is not stainless. It is just a mild steel, so it'd be really a waste of my time to try and TIG it, and it just wouldn't look good, and it would take me forever. So that's why we're opting for the MIG. But yeah, so I'm gonna let that cool off. I gotta run up to the store. Once I get back, we'll try and get this other section connected to where it's meeting with the mid pipe, and then this thing is done. Emin will be happy. He can go get this thing tuned. Actually, no. Yes and no. We're gonna have to modify the wastegate actuator, but we're gonna have to wait for another day for that at the moment. But he's really close. So just got back. I just really quick mocked this up, and this is what I got so far. So this is where the pipe ended. Flex pipe actually was just a hair bigger, so I was able to slide it over the pipe, and then just a little 12¼ inch section to attach it to the flange. This flange is a little too small for the other flange. It does bolt up, but not as good as I would like it to, but it's what we have to work with, so that's what I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna go ahead and just weld this up, and then this downpipe is done. And here's the finished product. So this thing is all welded up now. It's good to go. We can slap it back on the car. As you can see, it's pretty much dark out here, so it took me, I don't know, probably 2 hours, 3 hours total. But yeah, so just bolted up to the V-band right there, bolted up to the flange into the car. It's gonna be leaking because he does not have a gasket, so he'll have to get a gasket for the flange, but it's all made. So I think he'll be stoked nonetheless. So guys, I was gonna try and put this into one long video because I'm working on Ammon's car and everything, but looks like I already have a lot of footage on this one, so it's probably gonna be kind of long. I know a lot of my videos are, and I always say this crap, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this video here. Again, if you guys want a roof brace, let me know. I will be making more of these right now. I have to finish making one. Because a guy pre-ordered one, so I have 2 sold so far. I'm gonna try and make sure I get those 2 sold or shipped this week. It's gonna be quite the process to try and get boxes, and it's gonna be expensive to ship these things, but yeah, if you guys really want one, hit me up on Instagram, or if I make a batch of them, I will post them on the Big Cartel. It's just time consuming for me, so it'll take a little bit, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully the guy enjoys his roof brace and his harness bar. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below, leave a like on the video, yeah, anyways guys, do what you love, forget about the rest. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. I'll give you guys a sound clip of it before we cut this out right away though.